What's up, guys? Hey, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm gonna talk about something that actually it's been really hard for me to talk about these things. And it's gone 10 years now since it started, and it was like I was catching a cold that just got worse and worse and worse and worse, and it was at some point unbearable, and I couldn't understand anything. I was completely lost, and my whole life collapsed totally. Everything that I built up, friendships, business, people, love relationships, like basically everything kind of collapsed, and I didn't really know where to go from there, and I was just totally lost and questioning. And I am, of course, talking about a spiritual awakening. As much as I can understand this has to be a spiritual awakening that I've been going through, and it's gone in waves. And today I'm gonna tell everything about, from my perspective, in my view on a spiritual awakening, the upside, the downsides, all the doubts and like confusion that you're going through. I'm gonna put as much stuff in as possible, and I will give you 5 things, 5 signs that maybe will lead you to a better understanding of your own situation. Spiritual awakening can start in different ways, but today I will tell you the way I think it mostly starts and the way it started for me. So in 2012, my father passed away, and that was the start of my inner journey and my life and everything that been today. It's just because of that point where this happened. In my mind, it was like the craziest thing ever that he actually passed away. And this created a tremendous amount of pain. And for you guys that have parents or other people around you when they die, we don't really think that it's possible for them to die, even if they have a cancer or something that's like, okay, this person is going to die, but we don't want it to happen. So when he passed away, I got this tremendous amount of pain that I couldn't control. That's the key thing. I was a control freak, and we do everything to make ourselves feel comfortable. But when something happens that is out of your control and you have to live through the pain, there is no escape of the pain. That's where the mind, the body, everything is like, it's like a bump, and all of a sudden there's nowhere for you to go, and all of a sudden you have to face what is. And when you have to face what is, you have to feel all the emotions. So for me, it just, something just came up, and it hit me so incredible hard. I came to a point where I was like, I don't want to live, because what's the whole point with being on this planet, kind of. But also, when I came to that point, I also decided that I actually wanted to live. And what I wanted to do, I wanted to do crazy fucking things in my life. That's what I want to live life 100%. I want to live out as much as I can. I want to do all the things. I want to buy stuff. I want to make money. I want to love people. I want to have connection with people. I want to do crazy things. I want to sleep. I want to do, I wanted to do all of these things. So when this, it was like something hit me with a bat in my head, like boom. And that's why it's called an awakening, because you wake up out of this slumber, and you wake up of this sleepwalking thing that you've been going through, that you've been I was a victim. I didn't thought that I could do anything. I just thought, listen to this, I just believed that life was this way. It's like, this is my ticket, this is what I had to do, this is the things that I'm dealt with, this is the things that I got. Like there was something that gave that to me. But in that moment, I realized and I decided, no matter fucking what, I will go through the things that I will go through. I will go through pain, I will go through pleasure, I will go through confusion. I don't care. So when you come to a point where there's a lot of pain, If you see this right now, maybe it's going through, I don't know, comment down below if you resonate. But like, if you go through pain, it's actually a good thing. Because pain is just pain depending on what meaning you put to it. Pain's gonna move you into action. Pain is gonna make sure that you're doing something. It could be anything. It could be a little bit of pain, and you can do a little bit. The more pain you get, the more things you do. This is what people don't understand. And I've been so ashamed. So what happens when you come to this point? You think that there's something wrong with you. And you think that like you're crazy. You think that like, what the? Now everything is very crazy. I put so much of myself, and I thought that I was like, I felt that no one understood me. I felt that like I'm the only one that goes through this. And I couldn't see anyone around me in my closest like world that went through this. I never met anyone in my life. And that's why it's been hard for me to also talk about, and now 10 years later, I feel ready to actually share it with you. This is the first time I'm sharing it on video. So when you're in that moment of you look at your surroundings and people don't understand a shit of what you're going through, just know that there is more people out there. Because when I was in this phase, I didn't know where to turn and I didn't know where to do. So I started to isolate myself. I didn't really want to do some things, but I did them anyway, just to fit in. Something inside of me said something else, but I kept on doing the things that I thought that I would fit in the environment. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I could ever have done. Don't follow what you think you should do. Follow this thing right in here, because this thing always knows better. So if you feel like doing something like that, do that. Whatever that might be. It could be isolating yourself for a while, or like be with yourself and taking care of you. Maybe don't go to parties, because what happens is that like, so my tip number 2, and the next thing is, when you go through this, you don't want this like shallow talk. You don't want to go to parties. You don't want to like do the things that you used to do. Something within you changes and you don't feel like doing those things. So people in your outside circumstances, they might be asking, oh, Michael, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? You changed, you done this, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I've changed, and it fucking feels amazing. But as long as we try to people please other people just to fit in, I can tell you right now, it's better for you to walk your own path if that makes you feel better, because I believe there's something within. Our soul knows exactly the next step every time. It knows what next step you need to take. Your mind will say different things, but your soul always knows. And if people can't accept that, they're not your friends. You should let them go. I'll tell you right now, if they can't accept everything about you, your partner, or your people around you, they're not your friends. They're hang around that you can spend time with if you want, but they're not your friends. That's a difference. And in this whole it's like a big mess. It's like a big, like it's confusion, because there is no handbook of how to go through the spiritual awakening. You just have to start to rely on this, what's inside here. And the more you rely on this and start to believe in magic in your life, the more magical your life will be. Because this is a gift for you that you've been given, so you can go and through the things that you're supposed to go through later. It's very, very, very hard to understand when you go through it. You don't understand a shit, and you feel lost, confused, alone, unworked stuff within you. All your traumas, everything is gonna surface up, and it's gonna be a chance for you to heal it. So when all of this stuff comes up, you feel that at the same time, and you're like, fuck, I'm crazy, I'm depressed, maybe I need to go to the doctor and take suppressant. Please don't do that. Don't go to the doctor. Taking pills will not help. I have so many clients and people I know that they thought they were crazy. So they went to the doctor and they gave them some strong pills, and they suppressed everything. They started to suppress it, and that just builds up within. It's better to let the energy flow and stay with the feeling as long as you can, because in the end the feeling will run out. In this period, there's also gonna be like a time where you make a lot of changes in your life. Maybe your diet, because what I experience is that the more you heal and the more you awake, the more of like alive foods you're gonna crave. So maybe you're gonna start changing your diet. Maybe you're gonna do different things, and you will see that like, oh, all of a sudden you want to try new things. You want to try out it could be anything. Maybe all of a sudden you start to run, or you do yoga, or you do, I don't know what you're doing. You start to change your food. And this is a period of being curious. Whatever comes up for you in that moment that you feel like you want to test out, just go and test. Like, test so many things so you know what, I like this, but I don't like that. And that will lead you to the things that you actually love doing. So many people ask me or say to me like, Michael, I don't know what to do. But then I say, have you tested things? No, I have not. So how can you then know? And this time in your awakening phase, it's going to like, you're gonna get ideas, dreams, and like if you maybe meditate, it's gonna come to you in that where you kind of like test out things. And this is a very like, at the same time it's a fun period, but at the same time it's also still hard because you don't know. Like it's this thing with not knowing. And also don't put like shame or blame on you for not like keep doing the things that you normally do. I was in such a dark place that I don't think people saw it, but I put so much on myself that it was like there was something wrong with me. I'm the outsider. I'm a bad person. Why can I just not stick with the normal routines that everyone does? Why do I have to do all of these things? Why do I have to be the black sheep? And honestly, this stuff has been haunting me until this day. Those things were the things why I didn't put it out, why I didn't do this movie. And I've been holding on to that for a long fucking time because I loved my friends and I loved my girlfriend at the time and I loved them, but I couldn't communicate it. It was just, no one would understand me. And it was just really, really, really hard. So if you're doing this, know there is nothing that is wrong. And it's okay if people don't understand. It's okay if people don't accept. We got to move on. Always got to move on. And that's okay. People come, people grow. I believe that relationships come in the exact right times, and they will teach you the things that you need to know, and you will maybe teach other people what you need to know. So a friendship can be like, or that you meet someone even, could be a thing where you exchange, and then all of a sudden that is gone because you needed something and that person needed something. So don't put all that stuff on you that you are the problem, or it's just evolution. It's just what happened. It's just what is. And it's all okay. I can't emphasize that more. It's all okay. Please trust the process. Trust that everything is gonna be alright. But for something to change, it has to go from stability to chaos to stability. And that moment where it's chaos, that's the moment where it's gonna feel like it's crazy. My next sign is that you want to do different things. You want to maybe work with something else, and you want to live in different places. You really want to find deeper meaning in what you do. You feel that you want to contribute. You feel that you want to help out. You feel that you want to be a part of like almost like evolution or life, or you cannot anymore do something where you feel that stuff is not meaningful anymore. You come to this point where you're like, it can almost feel like there's like a depression, like nothing feels meaningful anymore. And that is for you to actually find what gives you meaning. That is for you to go out there and see that there is something else for you to do. It's for you to step into your power. It's for you to really embrace the future and that something bigger for you is coming. But for you to realize that, you need to be in a place where everything sucks and you feel no meaning and you don't want to go out of bed and you're like, why am I even doing this shit? I remember I was doing really good. I was making lots of money and I had my own business that I always dreamed about. And all of a sudden I was like, no, I don't want to do this fucking shit anymore. I'm done. I don't want to do it. If you go back in time a little bit, I loved it. It's the best thing that I ever done in my whole life. And it switched completely. And this is really a hard part, because all of a sudden you have to find something new in your life, and this takes time. This will keep on going. Like, really give this time. Don't rush anything. This has still been going on for me. Now it's pretty clear, but at that point I was so lost. And you know what? I kind of also didn't care. At the same time, I was like, I don't give a shit. I know I don't want to do this thing, but what I want to do, I don't know, but I also don't care, and I just trusted. Like, I trusted that this thing inside was right. So I sold that company and I left it, and it was the best thing of my life, because I was so stressed out and I was so conditioned by all of this, my old patterns and habits. So I needed to leave that place. Like, there was no other options. I tried to find other options to like be half owners and like keep working. No, I had to leave. And life, universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it, don't care about money, for example. They care about you taking yourself to the next level. And if you're losing money in that, yeah, life doesn't care. That's the thing. So when this happens, if you have a company, if you're in a job, whatever you are, be smart. I sold my company, and there was a point where I felt, no, I can give it away. I don't give a shit. Take it as long as I can leave. I'm happy. That's what I felt. But then I had some good friends, and they told me, Michael, you need to sell it. Like, you really need to sell it. And thank for that. But in this point, you will feel like you need to just step out of the whole thing, and you need to like, oh no, I don't even come close with this other old stuff. And my next tip is that be super gentle with yourself. Put yourself first. You're not egoistic if you're putting your needs, your wants, your desires first. From this point on, you have to do that. Please do it. Don't listen to other people. You just do what you know, because there's something within us that knows the best for us, I believe anyway. So do what is best for you. Do what that thing inside of you says that you need to do. If you need to rest, do that. I remember I was sleeping for so much. I was exhausted. And all of this goes up and down. Sometimes it's pretty good, and then boom, you hit something then. And then boom, and then you go like this. You will find out that you have higher highs and you have lower lows. And that makes you like alive. My next tip is that if you really want to get out of the problems, you have to dedicate yourself to continuously growing until you die, basically. Growth is a thing that never stops, and your problems will never stop. So the problem you have today and the problem you will have in the future, there are just different levels of problems, more quality problems. So if you decide that you should focus on your own growth as much as you can, like everything I do is my personal journey. Decide that you're gonna focus on that, and it will take you out of the whole situation much faster. But if you don't get the lessons that the universe, source, life, God try to give you, and if you don't understand what you're going through, you're gonna get the same problems over and over and over again, and you're not getting out of it. So my tip is to really embrace your own growth. Go fully 100%. Be curious about you. Be curious about your past. Be curious about your parents. Be curious about all your decisions that you made to this point. Try to understand what happened in the past and what brought you here, to see if there's something that you can take out of that information to understand why you're in the situation, why you feel, why you have anxiety, why you have traumas, what your traumas came from. When you understand that faster, you will get out of the whole thing faster. And it will take you to a place that many times when you do the work, it's fucking crazy. I tell you that. There's also beauty after this. It's super, super cool. There's not just darkness, but these are signs that, like, this is what can happen to you. And really, really try to understand the problems. Solve the problems. Own it. Take responsibility for your own actions, for everything that happened in your life. You choose this body when you were born. You chose it. And you chose these problems. Yes, I know it's maybe hard to hear, but I truly believe that we as humans, we choose our parents, we choose our body, we choose the traumas, because the traumas, listen to this, the traumas and the shit that has been happening to you and all the pain you've been going through is the tools for you to live your life in the future. When you turn pain, traumas, and shit that happens to you around, that will become lessons and tools and positive things that empowers you. But as long as you are in a victim state, nothing of that will work for you, I promise you. But when you empower yourself and you own it, yes, that happened to me, and you know what? I also healed it, because I'm gonna do this and this in my future. You're gonna be a powerhouse of nothing seen before, and everyone has their unique pains, and therefore you have your different unique tools that you can use in the future. I got mine, you 100% got yours. So be aware of your problems and fully dive in to understand this universe, because this contains a universe too. But the more you dive into understanding yourself, the better it will get. I promise you. If there's something that you're wondering about, comment down below, subscribe. I love you. See you in the next video, guys. Mwah.